I think we've sorted out all of our audio difficulties tonight. Maybe. Again, everything had some updates. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologize. We have had some issues here tonight. Between SDK wanting to do an update, OBS did an update 2 nights ago, and everything else that's gone on, I do apologize. So here we are live, round 8 for Monza for the Endurance for Amateurs series. As you can see, our leaders tonight in GTE, Ryan Tyler with a 17-second lead over Paul Skip and Terry Kroger Jr. In GT3, one Mr. Benjamin Morales has been on his game tonight, and he has an 8-second lead over Carl Handwerk and Nicholas Paletti. And we have had a few issues here among some of the drivers tonight. So we're going to do a rundown. So here we have second place, Mr. Carl Handwerk, who has managed to gap himself over your current points series points leader, Mr. Nicholas Paletti. Adrian Vigel in that wonderfully painted, quite colorful car, running in 4th place, followed closely by Andrew McMurray, Aaron Claybaugh, and here we have James Foreman in 7th place in class, followed closely by Andrew DeCash, Andrew Malinowski, and here's your, they are getting lapped currently by your GTE leader, Ryan Tyler, who's been having a great night. Mark Thomas in 10th place in the Oreo Lamborghini. And here we have Zachary Nurnberger in the old school Pony Express, the tie-dye-ish, followed closely by Marcus Osborne. Nice to see Marcus having a good, clean race so far. A little bit further back, we have one Mr. Tony Watson, and he is in a battle with Zach Purcell. And speaking of, there is Mr. Roger Shank, our title sponsor here at Endurance for Amateurs, along with 3HM Entertainment. Nice to see Roger out there tonight. Hopefully Roger is having a much better night than he did last week. Last week, poor Roger was the victim of just about every incident he could ask for, and I'm sure he didn't want any of them. Roger is down there in 14th place tonight, up 7 positions though, so not an overall bad night for Roger. Settling in, getting in his groove. As you see the difference between the GTE and the GT3 cars, those GT3 cars with that ABS can usually get in there a little bit deeper and a little bit harder on the brakes, but they just don't have the same oomph when they're coming out of the corners. So that is Roger Shank, and then 15th place we have Mr. Jimmy Covert, who has had an eventful evening here tonight. He has he's had quite a few incidents and off tracks. In fact, there's another one. He just seems to not be not having a good night. Normally Jimmy is really fast. He's up there amongst the leaders. Monza just not suiting his race style. As you see in the back there, one Mr. Paul Boyle using all the track. Now these guys are going to try to cut as much of those chicanes as they can, using all the curbing, trying to make that line through the chicane as straight as possible so they can maintain momentum and speed all the way through the corner. Meanwhile, up front here is Mr. Ryan Tyler, who has started from the pole, led every lap, and has been slowly distancing himself from everybody else. In fact, he's out to an 18-second lead over Paul Skip tonight. And a lot of the GTE field has kind of spread themselves out. Everybody's kind of settled into a rhythm. In fact, I think the closest battle we currently have is going to be between Adrian and Andrew McMurray. These gentlemen are in a battle for 4th position. As we see Adrian in the plus 30 racing. I haven't seen that paint scheme before, so that's a nice scheme. Now that is Andrew McMurray's usual paint scheme on the Ferrari. Nice to see the two most colorful guys on track able to battle it out. Our current points leader, one Mr. Nicholas Paletti. He is your current points leader over Aaron Clayball and Sean Crowley rounding out the top 3 in GT3. Over in GTE, David Lehman with an 8-point lead over Patrick Ripley, and in 3rd place in that league so far is Tyler Langenberg. Now you'll notice Patrick Ripley is not racing tonight. These guys do get 3 bye weeks, so let's see what happened to Mr. Ronnie Osmer, who has had an eventful night in that Corvette as well. He seems to be having some braking issues. Let's see what happens here as he catches all the curbing. Now, I mentioned earlier that they want to take a little bit of that curbing and make that corner as straight as possible. I don't think that's what Ronnie was attempting to do. And Brad McCombs has had an incident. See what happened to Brad as he's coming down, coming into that first chicane in that wonderful System X blue and black BMW. And he is in there deep, ladies and gentlemen. He is in there really deep. In fact, he is no longer in there deep. He is going to make the zigzag. And he is going to watch the 2 gentlemen that he was in front of go by. Brad, I think you got that one wrong, buddy. I apologize. Well, let's see what's happened to Dustin. He's coming into that same chicane. Just gets on it a little bit too much and wisely gets out of the way as fast as he can to avoid those guys coming behind him. And we're going to use the runoff road and knock a few cones. Luckily, the flag workers from iRacing they're amazing. Those guys will have those cones picked up and cleaned before the next car gets there. It's amazing. Back here with Nicholas Paletti, currently running in 3rd position. Started 3rd, running 3rd. Nice race for Nicholas tonight. Here we have Carl Handwerk, who is just trying to get past the lap car of Sean Crowley. There we go. And right behind one Mr. Brad McCombs. Let's see how Brad does in this corner this time. Brad's able to get that slowed down just barely. And I heard a rumor, I think Brad is running a new VR headset this evening. Nice to see these guys out there. Meanwhile, back up front, Ryan Tyler is, I'm sure, having himself an amazingly boring evening with a 17-second gap over Paul Skip. I would imagine he would like it no other way, as he's starting to come into some lap traffic, though. Not a huge variant in lap times between the GT3 and the GTE field. Mainly because the GT3 guys can dive so much deeper in on the brakes. So the lap times are close, but the straightaway speeds are quite a bit different. As you see, these guys trying to get around some lap traffic. Ryan Tyler is going to have to pick and choose where he gets through these guys. Looks like he's going to hold off. He knows he doesn't have to push it. He's got a 17-second lead. Oh, there's no sense in making a hole where there isn't one. He's going to use all this straightaway now. Looks like he's going to pull up onto the inside of Andrew McMurray. Try to get that one done. And we'll see if Adrian lets him go by 2. They let him have the inside lane there. Nice. Nice by all 3 drivers there. Ryan Tyler knows he has the faster car, knows he's got a lead. There's no sense pushing it. And the other 2 drivers realizing He is the race leader at this point. You know, get the blue flag, pull over without causing each other. And looks like Andrew's going to drive up the inside. See if he can make that stick. He does. Nice pass there by Mr. Andrew McMurray over Adrian. Able to outbrake him and cut off that line so Adrian couldn't get any momentum and drive past him on the out of that corner. Thank you, Ninja Slice. I appreciate that. Yeah, we had some technical difficulties and some settings got set back to default, so I was able to eventually figure that out. Thanks for everyone for sticking by. Glad I could at least show you the race. I just feel bad I was here talking to myself. It's probably better entertaining anyways. Well, looks like we have an incident with Tyler Langenberg. See what happens to Tyler as he's coming in and just gets on that curbing a little bit. Oh, he's way off there. That's unusual. Well, that almost looks like he... I don't know what happened there. And back to the pits. So not a night Tyler Langenberg was looking for, that's for sure. So now he makes that long tow back to the pit lane for some repairs. Well, let's see what we got here. James Foreman and Andrew DeCash are having a good battle, as this is a battle for 7th place in GT3. See if that BMW get in the tow of that Ferrari. Running almost identical lap times. These two are not quite close enough. Is Anton. Just going to pull in behind Mr. James Foreman and see where we go. In fact, let's jump on the gyro cam for a little bit with Antoine DeCash. See, oh, pulls right up on the back as he gets in there just a little bit too hot. And that's going to really hurt his exit speed a lot. So he got in there just a little bit too deep. And there goes one Mr. Paul Boyle, or excuse me, Paul Skip, in the GTE or Porsche. See him feathering the throttle, trying to keep as much momentum and speed as he can. Now he's hoping to get a little draft from Paul Skip. Maybe pull him back up to James Foreman. That cost him almost a half a second. He's going to clip the inside of that one. Hold it tight. Clip the inside of this one. Oh, that's gonna... And I might have gotten a slowdown for that. Maybe not. A lot of times iRacing will give you a slowdown if you run a little bit too wide, cut off too much of the track. Antoine has got some work to do now to catch back up to Mr. James Foreman. Alright, let's see. Aaron Krabos had an incident. Number 2 in the GT3 points lead. He's coming in, just runs it wide. Not able to hold that. Not bad though. He's able to get back on track. Didn't look like he lost too much time there. And Jesse Ortiz has had an incident. Let's see what happens to Jesse as he's coming into that corner. Looks like he's going to run it just a little bit wide too. Able to do a little dirt track, and I like how you leave tire marks on the dirt. That's an interesting feature. Nice Jesse Ortiz there to keep that on track, not cause any damage. And we have an incident with Daniel Higley. Let's see what happened with Daniel. Maybe. Daniel, who as we've seen earlier, has had quite an eventful evening already. Just got in there a little bit too hot. Able to keep it off the wall though. We have a pass. Marcus Osborne. See here. He's in that USPS Porsche. Oh, and he's able to get around Daniel Higney, who was coming back on track from his earlier incident. Looks like Antoine has got back into a rhythm. He's got a little bit of work to do now, though, if he wants to catch back up to James. Lost all the momentum getting there a little bit too hot. Let's see, Mr. Brad McCombs has had an eventful evening, and let's see what happens here. Brad just gets in a little bit hot. Oh, and has to check up hard. And you see our GT3 leader, Benjamin Morales, trying to get through these guys without any incidents. Benjamin's just hoping the guys stay away from him, as he has caught himself into a mess of traffic as he's coming up on the back of Jesse Ortiz. Jesse is a few laps down. Hopefully Benjamin's able to get past him without any incident. You see Brad. It's going to sneak by there. Brad is in the faster class, and Jesse is not going to make this easy on our leader. You see one Mr. Benjamin Morales flashing lights, asking Jesse to get over, get out of the way. And there he pulls over. Hopefully he understands that he can't be racing that hard. There we go. I'm sure Benjamin was hoping that was going to be a little bit easier sailing than that. As traffic is starting to take effect here, you see everybody is quite a bit spread out. Nice race by one Mr. Benjamin Morales though tonight. You start to see some of these guys are filtering in now. See a few guys popping on for pit stops here. We are just about at the 1 hour mark. So we are over halfway here at Monza, round 8 of the Endurance for Amateurs Championship. Next week we will be at Sebring for round 9. So stay tuned for that next Wednesday night here on the Pony Express Sim Racing YouTube channel. Looks like we have an incident with Zach Purcell. Let's see what happened to Zach coming down into that start-finish line, coming into that first chicane. Wonder if Zach just got in a little bit hot. He's hard on the brakes, hard on the binders, and nope, just not able to slow down enough. We're going to make the zigzag. And able to get back in without any further incidents. You know, you get that wrong just a little bit and you kind of lose all your momentum. One gentleman who has not got this corner wrong tonight, Benjamin Morales, is all over it tonight. Great driving so far by Benjamin in that Ferrari. It looks like Ronnie Osmer's had another incident. Let's see what happened to Ronnie. Ronnie, who has had several incidents tonight. Just, yep, that same thing. I don't know if he's just got the brake bias turned up so much on that Corvette tonight, but he seems to be locking the rears all the time tonight. Oh, pulls back on track, able to almost got rear-ended there, luckily for him. And here we are with our leader in GT3, one Mr. Benjamin Morales. I don't know if he's just trying to let everybody in front of him know that he's coming. I don't think the guy need that big of a heads up, Benjamin, but as you see, Ryan Tyler is getting coming up on the back of our GT3 leader. These guys all make their way through traffic. Ryan Tyler, who is really running some great lap times. I mean, he is a second to a second and a half ahead of everybody else. As you see there, he's pulled a 21.5 second lead, almost 22 second lead on the field. Great night of driving by Ryan Tyler. We check on, see who we got some good races here. The GT3 field has spread themselves out quite a bit, but it looks like we got Andrew McMurray, Adrian Vigil, and Aaron Claybaugh have locked themselves into a nice little battle here. And these gentlemen are racing for 4th position. As they trail Nicholas Paletti by 6 seconds, or excuse me, by 9 seconds. Looks like Dave Ferraris had an off track. See, Dave's a little bit tight there. Just, oh, couldn't quite make that corner. Not bad though, Dave. Not bad. Nice save. As we see the battle here in GT3 for 4th position between Aaron McMurray, Adrian, and Aaron Claybaugh, all running within a second of each other. Unfortunately, the harder these gentlemen battle, the farther away Mr. Nicholas Paletti is getting. As you see Nicholas here up there. Almost a full straightaway ahead of Andrew McMurray. You see him just coming on to the front straight now. These guys all lined up, trying to use any kind of draft they can get from each other. It looks like Andrew DeCash has managed to catch back up to James Foreman. Now these two were in a battle, probably 10 minutes or so ago, and Antoine just kind of got in a little bit hot in this second set of chicanes here. So he was able to close up right here and had a nice run out of here last time and was right on the back of James, and then just got in a little bit too deep and had to get hard on the binders, and that allowed James to walk away from him and pull almost a full second lead. It looks like Doug Algebright's had an incident here. Well, that didn't show us a whole lot. And you see in the background there, Jesse Ortiz has had an incident. Oh, there's Doug. Pulling over, just trying to let everybody go by. Realizes, yep, and he's just in a bad spot there. Hopefully he's able to get that thing up and running, get out of the way without causing anybody issues. All right, here we are with Antoine and James Foreman. These guys battle for 7th position. Oh no, it looks like Andrew McMurray's had a big incident. See what happens to Andrew. He cuts a little bit of that inside, nothing bad there. And he just gets off and hits the, oh no, Andrew, and then out back. Oh, everybody's able to avoid him. Whoa. What a shame, just caught that little piece of dirt, and that's all it took. And now you can see that thing is gonna be a mess. I can't. He may try to drive that thing all the way around, but I don't think I would suggest that. He is going to cause an incident amongst himself or somebody else. Not what Andrew McMurray was hoping to see, and yeah, you see here he's going to have some off tracks. There you go, and he finally decides enough's enough, back to the pit we go. That was a shame too. Andrew was having a great race, running up there in the top 5. Well, that has moved Aaron Clayball up into 4th position, followed closely by Adrian, and Antoine has managed to get around James Foreman. Oh, it looks like James has had an incident. Let's see what happens here as he's coming into this first chicane. Just gets in there a little bit too hot. Yep, you can see there he was hard on the binders. Around he goes, and now he's got that little bit of a slowdown, I'm sure. I'm sure James will be a little bit heated after that. That was kind of a unforced error there, unfortunately for James. Well, now he's going to have to play catch up to Antoine. Or Antone. These guys are battling for 6th position. Meanwhile, our leader, Benjamin Morales, up here just having a nice, looks like he's just running practice laps at this point. 11.5 seconds over Carl Hamburg. Who has got himself a nice comfortable lead of 9 seconds over Nicholas Paletti, who has got himself a nice lead over Aaron Clayball. Now, Nicholas Paletti and Aaron Clayball, that's your first and second in the season standings here in GT3. Looks like we have Ryan Tyler, who, I'm sorry Ryan, but it's not a lot of camera time for you tonight, but that happens when you have a 23-second lead over second place. So you might not get a lot of camera time, Ryan, but it does not mean you are not having a great race. As he pulls into the pits. So he's going to pull into the pits with roughly 34 minutes to go. Should be his final pit stop for the evening. And oh no, Marcus Osborne has had an incident. See what happens to Marcus here. Coming into that chicane and just gets in there a little bit hot. Hopefully that's... Oh, and then tries too hard. Oh no, Marcus. I'm going to guess that's going to knock the steering out of that thing a little bit. Just tried too hard to come over those sausages too fast and paid the price. Alright, well here we have Mr. Paul Skip is in the lead now. As Ryan Tyler just pulling out of the pits. Looks like he is going to be in a comfortable spot. Unfortunately, he's going to have to work his way around these guys in front of him one more time, as they are all fighting for position. Well, that looks like Dave Ferrara, who is not fighting for position with those guys. Dave is a lap down from those guys. As we start to see a lot of guys diving into the pit lanes now. Aaron Clayball just left the pits. Ronnie Osborne's in the pits. Roger Shank in the pits. Daniel Higley. Marcus Osborne is in pit lane after his incident. Hopefully that doesn't take too much repairs and he's able to get in and out of there pretty quickly. So that puts Paul Skip up front, followed by Terry Kroger Jr. Of course, these two gentlemen have not made their pit stop yet. Neither has David Lehman. And here we are with Ryan Tyler, who has made our pit stop as he's fighting his way through the... He's coming up on the back of Adrian. Now, Adrian is currently sitting in 3rd place in GT3, but he also needs to make another pit stop here yet tonight. So while these gentlemen make a pit stop, I'm going to take a quick break, and I will be back in a few minutes to wrap up round 8 at Monza for Endurance for Amateurs, presented by Pony Express and sponsored by AlienAwards.net and 3HM Entertainment. back, everyone, as we are live from Monza, round 8, Pony Express Sim Racing Endurance for Amateur Series. Here we see, once again, Ryan Tyler, your leader in GTE by almost 22 seconds over Paul Skip and Terry Kroger Jr. And down in GT3, we have Benjamin Morales with a 25-second lead over Nicholas Paletti and Carl Handwerk. While we were gone, we see that Carl had a little incident. Doesn't appear to have cost him too much. He's hoping to get back up there in front of Nicholas Paletti. That has allowed, however, Aaron Clayball to get right up on the back of Carl. As you see, Mr. Brad McCombs behind them yet. Brad trying to not force the issue too much, knowing these guys are up here battling for position. As Brad McCombs pulls off into the pit. One driver tonight, and there's our second place driver of Paul Skip. Right ahead of Benjamin Morales, our current GT3 leader. Looks like Terry Kroger Jr.'s had an incident. See what happened to Terry. Coming on the outside of Andrew McMurray. Oh, and he just... I don't know if Terry came in a little early. Let's see if we can rewind that here just a little bit. And let's see here if we can go in and see what Terry sees. Oh, that wasn't exactly a good view. Let's rewind that a little bit. And we're going to check. There we go. Let's see what we see here. Oh, nice time for the board to come through. Well, I really wanted to see what happened there. Oh, yeah. Terry just... It doesn't look like Andrew cut him off, or oh, it looks like Terry just wasn't quite clear. Meanwhile, like I said, one gentleman that has not had that issue tonight was Paul Skip. He's been pretty uneventful evening. Unfortunately, he is 22 seconds behind his closest competitor there, Mr. Ryan Tyler. Paul just kind of running off in nowhere. As we check this battle between Carl Handwerk and Aaron Clayball. This is your battle for the final podium position in GT3. As we come down to 21 minutes remaining here in round 8. Carl looking to capitalize on the last 2 weeks. He's on the podium, in fact, on the top step of the podium the last 2 weeks. He was looking for another podium finish right up to the point where he had that incident earlier, got caught up in another guy's mess. Now he's fighting to hold on to 4th place, or to hold on to that podium position, as Aaron Clayball is trying everything he can. He wants to get by Carl. He knows he needs to make that move, but he also wants to make sure he does it where he can hold that position. You know, you can dive up the inside sometimes on these corners, but you lose all your momentum and you lose your drive off the corner, and the guy just ends up pulling back around on you. As you see Nicholas Paletti there getting past Jesse Ortiz, and Jesse's doing the right thing, just letting these guys go by. He's several laps down tonight. There's no sense him fighting for a position and costing somebody else the race. So we'll see if Carl's able to use a little bit of Jesse on the draft, flashing his lights, letting him know, hey, I'm coming up the inside. Please do not block me. Please do not turn into me. Jesse is not giving Carl any room, that's for sure. I would imagine Carl is not going to be too happy about that. Jesse really should be backing out, letting these guys go by, but he is definitely not doing that. In fact, he is making it hard for these guys to get around him. I don't know if just a little inexperience or if he's just out there running his race and that's his line. So it looks like Chris Lawson's had an incident. Let's see what happened to Chris. He's coming in, just comes in a little wide, runs in a little bit hot. Able to keep it out of the dirt though, that's the key there. And Doug Augubright's had an incident. Let's see what happens to Doug here. Same corner. Yep, just runs it in too wide, misses the apex altogether. Out wide he goes. Luckily that corner's got a lot of runoff and you can ride the brakes to get the car slowed down. Oh, we have a big incident in the back. See Aaron Fulford. Aaron trying to get around Jesse Ortiz. And Jesse just turns in hard. Aaron, no fault of his own. Not what Aaron was hoping for. Hopefully Aaron is able to get back on track. Let's take a look at Ryan Tyler here, who was up here having a great race so far. Alright, as we checking out Mr. Ryan Tyler, who's having a great race. Got himself a 23-second lead over Paul Skip. But imagine Paul has resorted himself 17 minutes to go. I don't think there's any chance he's going to catch Ryan Tyler. As long as he keeps it on track, looks like he is going to have enough of a lead where he shouldn't have to worry too much about third place David Lehman. Down here in GT3, Benjamin Morales has run into some good laps. Meanwhile, Carl Handwerk has managed to get back up there over Nicholas Paletti. Not sure what happened to Nicholas. Let's see if there's an incident with Mr. Paletti. I'm not seeing anything. I don't know if he's just slowed down. Let's take a look at the pass. Did you see Carl's right on the back? Pulls out of that slipstream, coming into that first chicane. Carl on the inside, and Nicholas just lets him go. I don't know if he let him go, but Carl definitely had the inside line there. Rather than cause an incident, Nicholas does the right thing. Now Nicholas has to contend with Aaron Claybaugh, and Carl is looking in his rearview mirror telling those guys, keep fighting, I don't mind. Well, Carl back up in second place on the podium. Now, once again, if Benjamin manages to just drive a nice, clean 15 minutes of racing, I don't think there's a chance Carl's going to bridge that gap. Well, that will put Carl on the podium 3 races in a row, as he runs it just a little bit wide there. As Nicholas is back on the pace again. Nice race tonight by Carl, though, nonetheless. Didn't quite have the pace to match Benjamin Morales, but still, second place to go a long way towards his championship points battle. Carl currently sits in 4th place in the points battle. Unfortunately for Carl, he has used up all 3 of his drop weeks. He missed the first 2 drop weeks, and looks like Andrew McMurray's had another incident. Andrew was having such a great race earlier and then just got it all wrong. Let's see what happens here. Coming in hard on the brakes, just loses the back end. Comes around and, well, looks like he's able to stay off the wall. That's good. Now he's stuck waiting for all these cars. It seems like forever. All right, no harm, no foul there for Andrew. Able to get back on the track. And here we see Carl Handwerk managed to pull a little bit of a lead. He's a 2.5 clear of Nicholas Paletti. And they have both left Aaron Clayball, who has fallen behind. Let's see here, we got Mr. Andrew Malinowski and Marcus Osborne in a good battle. Unfortunately for Marcus, it's a battle for 11th position. Not where I'm sure he was hoping to be. Let's see if he's able to come around the outside. Oh, he's taking the long way around. Is he able to get the Porsche power down? Not happening. Meanwhile, Paul Skip is just thinking to himself, just stay out of my way. Stay over there. Don't want anything to do with you guys. Have your own battle. Looks like James Foreman's had an issue. Wonder if him and Derek. James just gets in a little bit hot. Yep, following the guy in front of him. And Andrew Malinowski and Marcus Osborne have ended up having an incident. Hopefully they didn't catch Paul Skip up in it. Looks like they did. Oh, they both hit. And just, oh. Paul might be the only time I've ever seen a guy get caught up in an accident that happened behind him. Marcus just slid forward and clipped the back of poor Paul. Luckily for Paul Skip, able to get out and get away unscathed. It looks like Carlos Ramos has had an incident. Looks like he's just, and catches the inside and, oh! Gets caught up as, not sure who that was, went off track. Was that Andrew Malinowski? Looks like Andrew went off track and just kind of got a little loose there. Ended up catching Carlos. So a lot of tense moments, especially for those guys on the podium here tonight, trying to stay away from everything as we get closing in on 10 minutes to go here. Here we are once again with Benjamin Morales. It's a comfortable 26 seconds. Looks like Marcus Osborne's had another incident. Let's see what happens to Marcus. All by himself. Runs in just wide. And see, these guys are just kind of missing that apex a little bit and locks it up. Luckily for Marcus, able to keep it off the wall tonight. So GTE, yeah, Ryan Tyler leading Paul Skip, followed by David Lehman, Terry Kroger, Aaron Alford rounding out your top 5. Brad McCombs in a comfortable 6th place tonight, followed by Nick Terrell, Daniel Higley, Carlos Ramos, and Doug Augerbright rounding out your top 10. And the only 10 left running in GTE tonight. Meanwhile, GT3, Benjamin Morales, followed by Carl Handwerk, Nicholas Pleddy, Aaron Clayball, and Adrian Vigil, your top 5. Antoine DeCash, James Foreman, Mark Thomas, Tony Watson, and Roger Shank up 11 positions. In fact, Tony Watson up 15 positions tonight. Nice race for Tony. Had an incident earlier. Has had a few scares tonight, but able to get things back rolling. As you see, Roger Shank making a pass, getting around lap car of David Coleman. Nice of David to pull over and let those guys go by. As Roger's trying to run down Tony Watson. 3.5 seconds in 10 minutes, Roger. See if maybe Roger can grab another position, although right now he's in a nice top 10 position. I'm sure Roger will be happy to hear that after last week's fiasco. Again, Roger was kind enough to join us this week. Roger is the owner, operator of AlienAwards.net. Nice enough to join us on the podcast over there at PE Sim Racing, the podcast. You can check us out on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, just about any place you listen to podcasts. Check us out. Tyler and I break down the week that was in Pony Express, along with some other news and events regarding the sim racing community. Try to have on special guests, and this week we had on Mr. Roger Shank. Was kind enough to stop by, and also Roger dropped a bombshell on us. He is making a special award for the PE Sim Racing, the podcast, Driver of the Year in the Endurance for Amateur Series. That is something that Tyler and I are going to be responsible for choosing. We have no clue what we're doing, so that'll be an interesting award. You may get the award for Podcaster Driver of the Year because you caused the most wrecks. You had the most incident points. We don't know yet. Tyler and I are still trying to figure out what is the proper way to do that. And it looks like Paul Skip has some pretty severe wing damage. I'm going to guess that was from that incident earlier where he got caught up in somebody else's mess. And it looks like Carl Hendricks had an incident. No! Let's see what happened to Carl as he's trying to get through traffic. Again, that looks like Mr. Jesse Ortiz. Oh, no, Carl just runs it wide. Lucky able to keep that on track. And keep on rolling. Nice seeing Mr. Carl Hendrick. What that has done, though, is it's allowed Nicholas Pletty to close up on the back of Carl. Oh, he's still a 2 seconds off, but not bad. Nice race tonight for both those gentlemen. Nicholas, your current points leader in GT3, is going to extend that by ever so slightly over 4th place, Aaron Claybaugh. So here we have GTE leader Ryan Tyler, who has been on a mission from the get-go. Started on pole, fastest laps, you name it, it has fallen in place for Ryan Tyler tonight. As he continues to work his way through traffic here. Hoping all these guys get the blue flag, pull over, let them go by. I think the only battle we have here tonight is going to be whether Ryan Tyler wins by more or Benjamin Morales wins by more, as Ryan Tyler is 26.4 seconds ahead of Paul Skip and Benjamin Morales is 27.4 seconds ahead of Carl Handwerk. Now, I'm going to guess neither one of these gentlemen has a clue what the other guy's doing, but that might be the closest battle we have here on track tonight. As we come to... Ryan Tyler is... Again, it's a long race, and inevitably these guys are going to be stuck in traffic, and you're just hoping the guy in front of you understands that you're the leader. Don't do anything silly. Just stay out of the way. As James... No, that's Mark Thomas. Ryan's going to try to make that pass coming down the straightaway here. Get clear so he doesn't have to worry about it. Mark Thomas pulls in behind. Hopefully Mark's a little bit easier on the brakes so he doesn't get into the back of Ryan. Nice job by Mark Thomas. Ended up costing Ryan Tyler a little bit of time, but with 25 seconds to spare, I'm sure he doesn't mind losing a second here or there if it means getting through traffic nice and clear. He's coming up on the back of Daniel Higley and Antoine DeCache. Antoine, who is currently sitting in 6th place in GT3. Ryan Tyler, there we go. 4.5 minutes remaining. He's letting these guys ahead of him know, hey, I'm coming. I'm going to take your fight over to the side of the track, please, so I can make my way through. So these guys are going to get the blue flag. Crew chief's going to be telling them, overall leader coming through. Blue flag, blue flag. Oh, as you see there, I'm not sure who that slow car is. That looks like Dave Ferrara's had a big off. Dave just trying to complete these laps. Yep, as we see Dave Ferrara's finally had it. You see here as he's coming down. See that car does not look good. And he's just not able to keep it on track. And that liquid moly seems like it's had better days. Not the night Dave Ferrara was looking for. Benjamin Morales now up to a 29-second lead over Carl Handwerk, who's stretched his lead over Nicholas Pletty by 3 seconds. As we come down to 3 minutes remaining at round 8 here at Monza, excuse me. In the Endurance for Amateur series, brought to you by Pony Express, AlienAwards.net, and 3HM Entertainment. Thanks to everyone. Well, thank you, Rhonda, for checking out the podcast. I'm glad we were able to provide you some entertainment. Nami, I'm glad you could jump in the chat room. Too bad you can't jump on in the race tonight. We miss you. Hope to see you back next week. Rhonda, we know we'll see you again next week. You're a mainstay here in chat row. As Carl and Nicholas are in a battle, a small battle for that last podium position. Unfortunately for Nicholas, just doesn't seem to have the pace here late to keep up with Carl. As you see, these guys are really starting to get into some heavy traffic. As we are under 2 minutes to go, round 8. Our GTE leader is coming up on the back of Daniel Higley. Daniel's had his struggles tonight all over the place. And I'm going to guess Ryan is just hoping he doesn't have one of those struggles now. And it doesn't look like Daniel is just a little confused, Ryan. If I were you, I would be. There you go. Daniel gets pulled over to the side. Lets Ryan go by. Nice driving there, Daniel. As Ryan, really appreciate that. I would think this would be the white flag lap. For Ryan Tyler. We're going to stick with Ryan and make sure he doesn't end up with any more incidents. Looks like he's going to have clear sailing. He's got probably 10 seconds to the car in front of him. 7.5 seconds to the car in front of him. So, as you can see, there is Nick Terrell. So I would imagine Ryan is just hoping that Daniel Higley behind him doesn't miss his braking marker by a few hundred feet. He's able to cruise home. And here we see Benjamin Morales coming around to take the white flag for his final lap. And he has got clear sailing in front of him and clear sailing behind him. Ryan Tyler has managed to get rid of Daniel Higley, so he is going to sail home. That's right, Mr. Tyler. You are the man tonight. You see him flashing those lights, a little warning to the guys in front. Hey, I'm back here. Can you please not do anything crazy up front? As you see Ryan Tyler coming across your victory here tonight. Round 8, Ryan Tyler with a commanding 26-second lead over Paul Skip. In fact, let's jump over here with Paul Skip, see where he's at. Congratulations to Paul Skip with that bent wing and all. And one Benjamin Morales. Coming around to take the checker flag. Led every lap except for those on the pit stop. Qualified second. What a great race for Benjamin Morales. And here we have Carl Handwerk. One corner, well, I guess technically 2 corners left. Carl, third week in a row on the podium. Congratulations. So over in GTE, we have Ryan Tyler, Paul Skip, and David Lehman on the podium tonight. In GT3, Benjamin Morales, Carl Handwerk, and Nicholas Paletti are your podium finishers. Congratulations to everybody here at Monza Raceway. Round 8. Let's see if anybody is in the booth. Well, let's grab your GTE winner tonight, Mr. Ryan Tyler. Congratulations, Ryan Tyler. What a dominant victory here tonight at Monza.
Thank you, guys. What a race, eh?
Well, I don't know how it looked from your point of view, Ryan, but from our point of view, it looked like you had a very comfortably boring race.
And they're the best ones. I just got plenty of practice in yesterday, and I was feeling really, really good. And yeah, mission accomplished. I knew I had a good race car, good consistent pace, and delivered today. So it's good result, good back-to-back results.
Yes, great. Now, I did notice that despite the fact that you had a comfortable lead on just about everybody in the field, traffic tonight was, I don't want to say difficult, but it looked like at times it was kind of dicey. How did traffic come into effect from where you were at?
I had a couple of interesting moments, but nothing too serious. It's multi-class racing at its finest. It's when you got a good bunch of GT3 guys to work with, we can we help each other out. I'll give them a toe down the straight if they make it easy for a corner, and vice versa. So I didn't have any issues, but I know the guys behind me definitely did.
Yeah, there was a few. Well, now I know when on the broadcast it looks like you gained 9 positions tonight because we had some issues with qualifying and everything, but on the pole, fastest lap, I think you led every lap except for 2, and those were just during pit stops. That's about as dominant of a performance as you can get here at Monza. How does that carry over next week into Silverstone?
Can't wait. Hopefully.
Or wait, are we Sebring next week? Excuse me.
Sebring. Yeah, looking forward to it. I'm not particularly great around Sebring, so could be a little bit of a challenge, but I'll get some practice on Tuesday night and see how we do on Wednesday. Can't wait for it.
Well, great. Well, congratulations, Ryan. What a dominant victory. I think the only battle we had tonight was to see whether you and Benjamin, who was going to win by more, and unfortunately you lost to Benjamin by a second and a half.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so you had a 28-second lead, and he had a 30-second lead.
Oh, man. Got close to... Was I the lowest instant points, though?
I don't know. I didn't see that. I don't... I can't... I didn't check that in race.
All good.
We had
all good.
I had enough incidents and issues going on tonight where trying to keep track of any more stuff was just not happening.
Oh, I'm sure you had a busy night tonight. Can't wait to rewatch it tomorrow night.
Great. Well, you're not going to get a lot for the first 45 minutes. We had all kinds of audio and technical difficulties, but we got to watch the action. So congratulations once again. Is there anybody you want to give a big shout out to tonight for getting you here in Victory Lane?
Just my family, friends, and my girlfriend for putting up with my time away from her, pretty much. But yeah, that's it, man. And thanks to you guys for putting it on, and for the admins and Mark, and yeah, everyone at Pony Express.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, Ryan. Great job tonight.
Thank you.
All right, let's grab Mr. Paul Skip. Paul Skip, congratulations, second place tonight.
Hey, JR, how are you? Thank you, sir.
Great. Now, second place, unfortunately, it didn't look like you or anybody else had anything for Ryan tonight, but you, I was going to say, almost had a great, boring, clean race until you had what I think might be the most bizarre incident I've ever seen in iRacing.
Yeah, my hopes for the extra bonus points this week were over by the end of lap 2, so I was just trying to keep it clean, you know. Monza is, I swear, it's worse than Bathurst when it comes to attrition. It's just such a vicious track, and I was just trying to keep it clean and try to make good passes, and well, it worked out sort of.
It did. I saw you coming down the front straight. You made a clean pass, and then the two guys behind you hit and managed to actually knock you through the chicane to no fault of your own. So that was kind of interesting. We had to watch that a few times on the replay.
Yeah, that kind of sucked. Marcus told me if it fits, it ships, so he sent it.
Well, second place tonight. That's always good. You can't ever be upset by getting on the podium. What are your thoughts going into next week? The bumps of Sebring.
I've always done pretty good at Sebring. I think if I can keep it clean and stay out of trouble, I should have a pretty good finish. We'll see what car I'm going to run. Odds are it'll probably be the RSR. I just kind of been running it all season just to drive it and see how it does on all the different tracks and stuff.
Well, it seemed like it worked pretty well tonight. Second place finish. Congratulations once again. Paul, is there anybody you want to thank or give a shout out to before we let you go here tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Mark and all the guys in charge of the league. I appreciate what you guys do. Love racing here. Couldn't see myself racing anywhere else. I'd like to tell my girlfriend Steph that I love her and thanks for putting up with me and this hobby of ours and all the silly stuff I do. And thanks to you, JR, for everything you're doing off the track for the league, man. I really appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate your kind words there, Paul, and congratulations. And hopefully, next week will be one step higher, and we can get you back here and on the top step of the podium.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do.
Congratulations, Paul Skip, your second place winner tonight here at GTE at Monza. Have a good night, Paul.
Thanks, JR.
All right, let's grab our GT3 winner, Mr. Benjamin Morales. Benjamin Morales, congratulations on your victory tonight in GT3.
Thank you.
Now, I would have to say, Benjamin, that was probably one of the most boring races you ran, judging by the fact that you won by 30 seconds.
It wasn't boring by any means. Endurance racing, you end up running into so many people, and to be honest, there were many times where there were sketchy little incidents where if you just don't react the right way, it's like all of a sudden my race is totally different. So I managed to stay out of trouble. That was the big focus, just running consistent and staying out of trouble. So,
well, you definitely ran consistent. You were fast lap after fast lap, sometimes second and a half of everybody else on the field. Do you is Monza one of your better tracks? Do you just like that, or did tonight just one of those nights where everything fell into place?
Yeah, Monza is a really difficult track. I think people underestimate how fast you actually have to drive through and the amount of speed you have to carry through chicanes that inevitably look like are really slow. a lot of it is trail braking, and so I knew last week when I had watched the first race, and then I looked at the schedule and I knew Monza was the next. I knew I had to start training because it just if you don't get Monza right, it's a super difficult track. I did not want to start in the back of the grid. I wanted to start in the front just to avoid trouble, especially with GTE class in front of me. I knew I had a huge buffer of time to just get ahead.
Well, you did that very well tonight. I was talking with Ryan Tyler. He was the winner in GTE, and I said, I think the biggest battle there towards the latter part of the race was who was going to win by more, you or him. And I just want to let you know, Benjamin, that you won that battle. You were a second and a half ahead of Ryan Tyler in the gap between first and second place.
No, that's great. I didn't know that was another battle going on, but Ryan's fast, man. He was cooking. That's for sure.
Yes. Well, Benjamin, congratulations on your victory here tonight. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out and thanks to before I let you go enjoy your victory?
I mean, the logical one is to thank my wife because she puts up with this terrible addiction, which is sim racing. And I think all of us who are married can agree it's a rabbit hole and it's a never ending one. So I thank her and, the racing gods, if you will.
Great. Well, congratulations, Benjamin, and good luck next wing at Sebring.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, and there's our victory tonight in GT3, and let's grab second place, Mr. Carl Hanwerk. Carl Hanwerk, this is beginning to become a regular meeting place for you and I. Congratulations, second place tonight.
Yeah, I'll take it. This was a rough race, to say the least.
You seem to have moments where it looked like you were kind of in the clear for some easy sailing, and then all of a sudden chaos happened. Lap traffic and traffic in general seemed to not be your friend tonight.
Yeah, and that's my takeaway from this race is lap cars need to understand how to be lap cars. Not saying that they need to move out the way or anything like that, but when you have a position on them in the corner, there's zero reason to be still racing aside of you in the corner. It makes no sense because all you're doing is slowing both of you up. I mean, that's why you see a lot of the times I'm waving GTE guys by halfway down the straightaway because I know that we're going to be quicker getting in and out of the corner. I mean, racing in and through the corners makes zero sense, and when you're not for position. If you're position, I get it. Totally makes sense. But if you're a lap car and still trying to push, it's bad practice.
Especially here at a track like Monza where it's straightaway followed by some hard braking and cornering, and so you're going to get that unfortunate battle all race long.
Yeah, absolutely. There wasn't much room to pass. I mean, even on the straightaways, unless you were, within 0.6 of a second of the guy in front of you, you weren't going to get enough of a draft to even get alongside of him. So it was definitely tough to pass. So, tried to keep position as much as possible, but I made some mistakes, and then some others made mistakes around me. So it was tough. Absolutely.
Well, we had this conversation last week. Coming into this week, what's your strategy going next week to the respect the bumps at Sebring?
Yeah, I mean, I did the same thing tonight. Is went through all the cars and seen what one I felt best with and felt the most speed with, and again, it was the Ferrari. And I would have felt wrong, like we talked about last week, not running the Ferrari here at Monza. So
yes,
again, it's still not broke. Even though I finished second and lost points in the championship because of the bonus points this week,
yes,
it's still obviously doing pretty well for me. So obviously that'll be once again my favorite going in there.
Well, congratulations on a second place finish. I know it kind of breaks your streak of first place finishes, but I guess it could be worse. So before I let you go tonight, Carl, who we thanking and giving a big shout out to tonight for getting you here?
The usual people, Core Racing League, Jimmy and Mark finally got out here tonight. Big shout out to those guys. I know Mark had an okay race. Jimmy seemed to struggle a little bit, but still, anytime on the track is a good time. Joka Graphics, Josh Billiter with the paint schemes here tonight. Pony Express, you guys, for putting on the league and the broadcast. It's fun every week.
Well, Carl, thanks for stopping by, and congratulations, and hopefully we'll see you again next week at Sebring.
Sounds like a plan, buddy.
Well, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Carl Handwerk, your second place finisher here tonight at Monza. Congratulations to everybody for their great race. Sorry for the incidents and issues at the beginning of the race with the audio. I apologize. Hopefully we'll get everything worked out. We're still working out the bugs. This wasn't my my full-time gig when this season started, so I appreciate everyone for stopping by and for being patient and bearing with me as I grow through this and try to figure all this craziness out. And we look forward to seeing you again next week, round 9 actually. See, look at that, even got the dates wrong. So round 9 from Sebring. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us.